Okay. Now, without waiting further, let's go to 1625. Somebody can recite the verse, the word to word translation and purport. One of the important things here we have to understand here is that am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh. I don't know, this Bluetooth has some unnecessary sound coming. Now then continue. Okay. Now, someone can recite this verse, word to word meaning, translation, and purport. This is one verse, at least some of the verses were important, but this one verse actually, Maharaj made anybody who came to meet him, I would say somewhere between 2004, 5 onwards till the end of his stay in this world, he made us all learn everything about it, everything, the verse, translation, word to word meaning, and the purport also. And he would make every time we go to him, he would make us memorize and repeat the purport also by heart. To that extent, he said this verse is the this verse is the most important verse in the entire Bhagavatam. 1625 and 1626, but most importantly 1625. We will discuss how it is so important. But who would want to recite this verse?
I can, Prabhu. Prabhuji.
Yes. Who? I think Indu Mataji wanted to recite. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
I can read if it's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Prabhu. 1625. Etavad uktvo pararama tanmahad bhutam nabholingam alingam ishwaram aham cha tasmai mahata mahiyashe shirsna vanamam vidadhe nukampitah. Etavad, thus, uktva, spoken, upurarama, stopped, tat, that, mahat, great, bhutam, wonderful, nabaha lingam, personified by sound, alingam, unseen by the eyes, Ishwaram, the supreme authority, aham, I, cha, also, tasmai, unto him, mahattam, the great, mahiyashe, unto the glorified, shirshna, by the head, avanamam, obeisances, vidadhe, executed, anukampitaha, being favored by him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Then that supreme authority personified by sound and unseen by eyes, but most wonderful, stopped speaking. Feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisances unto him, bowing my head. Purport, that the personality of Godhead has not seen but only heard does not make any difference. The personality of Godhead produced the 4 Vedas by his breathing, and he is seen and realized through the transcendental sound of the Vedas. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is a sound representation of the Lord, and there is no difference in identity. Then conclusion is that the Lord can be seen and heard by persistent chanting of the transcendental sound.
So, if you see many of Maharaj's disciples, you ask them, they will, by heart they will say this purport. Because Maharaj made us sit with him, or wherever we go, and he would make us repeat this again and again and again. Because he said something very interesting. So many things he told. I will tell you my experience on this verse, because this was like when we read this verse, what is this? The Lord just said something, 4 verses, which we have been discussing till last week. We were discussing those 4 verses, response to Narada Muni. And he just stays and stops. First he starts the darshan, then he starts the voice also. No, nothing. So what is the big deal about it? What is so important about it? Is the question about this verse. So Maharaj told in multiple ways why he really appreciated this particular verse. Because this particular verse, he said, is the verse which indicates us or gives directions to us as to how we can see Krishna. There is almost all over the world, everybody will ask, "Show me God." I have not seen God. I've seen everybody. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing that other person, this person, but I'm not able to see God. So how can you show me God? How can you give me a method by which I can? So I can see the God. So that is the first question, correct? And there are so many ways which is given to us about how to see God and all, and in many ways. But all of them has their root here in this verse. So that is one important thing Maharaj said about how to see that personality basically. Mhm. Second thing is he said. um He said, I was going through the whole Bhagavatam, this whole part about, especially the, realizing more about Krishna, his pastimes, etc. So I went on all various cantos, even up to 10th canto also I went, and 11th and 12th canto also I went, but I could not see that one verse which can give me that direction. When I came back to first canto, I found that in this verse itself the answer is there. So this is a very important thing that Maharaj said out of his realizations of more than 80, 90 years, more than 90 years of practicing bhakti. He was telling me that there are many ways in which people will cheat us, that this is the way to see God, that is the way I will show you God, etc. But nobody has the capacity to show us or even to see for themselves. So instead of getting cheated by so many others who are not qualified, I found the answer here, and I was really thankful to Prabhupada for that, he said. So this was also what I was with Maharaj in 2004 when I returned from the US for good. I went to Rajkot straight, and then I was working in a US company there in US, and I had to leave that company and come here because it didn't have any branches here. So I had to find a new job here to work on. When I came here, Maharaj told me that you stay with me that for some time. Plus, Rajkot was just then building up. It was just because the current temple we see was built only in 2019. Initially, we had only the guest house and the temporary structure where the temple was there 2002, 3, 4 and all. So Maharaj said, you stay here with me, we can do study Bhagavatam and we can discuss and you can also help in some of the services here, etc. Then you can go and find your job like that. So what happened? I said, okay, I was very happy when Maharaj was asking me to stay with him. So Sudarshana came back to Chennai to be with my parents, and I continued there. To be specific, from Janmashtami, that is around August 2004, mid-August 2004 to January 2005, I was there with Maharaj. We were traveling around a bit also, but predominantly there. So that entire 5-6 months, this fifth and sixth chapter, Maharaj studied every day. He will study there, and I will be with him. Few of the devotees also were there with him, and we would study very deeply as Maharaj would pour out so many realizations from these verses. And that is when we came to this 1625, then from here on, what Maharaj said, every single verse he would, every other verse which he would do Bhagavatama, in the middle he would bring this verse and he would make us learn, recite, memorize, again repeat it, and then the whole class will go on this verse only. So almost 5 months, he ended up doing classes only on this verse, 1625. And that's when he is through so many treasure house of realizations from this particular verse. And how he was inspired in Krishna consciousness. Every time he would have any situation, question, or anything, he would go back to these verses. This one verse particularly. So why it is so important? Because here, actually the Lord is telling here, then that supreme authority, personified by sound and unseen by eyes, but most wonderful. Top speak. So if you look at the context here, Narad Muni is really bereft of any association, and then he lost his mother, he lost this social sages. Then he is going everywhere. Finally, he got one darshan of the Lord, and that darshan also was taken away momentarily. He tried again, it didn't come. He saw all those things till now. And then the Lord says something very interesting, the 4 verses which we saw. He said these 3 hues, Abhipakwa, Kashayanam, Durdarsh, Kuyogi, these 3 kind of people cannot see me. And then he said it is only to increase your thing more and more and more that I took my darshan away from you. The more you hanker for me, the more your material hankerings will go away and you will be purified. That we saw. Then he brought in this important point of how service and Krishna are not different, and through service only we will be able to increase our hankering for the service, we will be able to increase our hankering to see Krishna. So Krishna will not show just like that to anybody. Only one who has a hankering, he will show. Initially, he may give darshan to someone who may not have hankered. That's what he did to all of us. But after seeing him, he will develop the hankering. And once the hankering is developed, now you keep developing that hankering more and more. I will show you as you develop the certain point. That's the point he's saying. We saw about the importance of the service, how the transcendental service, and thanks to Meenakshi Mataji, amazing notes that she is consolidating everything, and then so patiently she is putting it in our group. I mean, thank you so much for that, Mataji. Now, this service, when we are completely engaging ourselves there in Krishna's in Krishna, then what happens is our intelligence will be engaged in that service, because when we keep on doing the service, we'll be engaging our intelligence in that service, how to do this, how to do that, if some challenges come, how to overcome that, etc., etc. Right? So what Krishna is telling in the verse number 24 is this, that the moment you engage your intelligence in me, it will not be disturbed by any material things, not even by time. So he is telling, even at the time of annihilation, you will remember me. In other words, he is telling, if you are 24/7, if you are 24 hours every single day, your remembrance is invested in me, then you will not forget the relationship at the time of death. It will continue by my mercy. That's a very important, very crucial hint that Krishna gave to Narad Muni in the 24th verse. Because our problem is that if I see, Krishna is not going to forget. He remembers everything. He doesn't have a material body at all. He is completely devoid of anything material. Because of his pure spiritual existence, He remembers everything all the time, so there is no reason for him to forget the relationship with us. But we are the ones who have this material body, due to which we have the propensity to forget our relationship with Krishna. So that is where Krishna is giving the guarantee that if you continuously engage in service in my service and continuously remember me, if you continuously engage in my service and constantly chant, hear, etc., then I will make sure that your remembrance will continue even beyond annihilation. Not only of this body annihilation, but this world's annihilation also. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. In other words, you will be fully spiritualized. There is no question of being in material consciousness, right? So this is the hint that Krishna is giving. And Narad Muni, the first and foremost thing he is telling here is, feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisances unto him. So for this reason, Narad Muni is expressing his gratitude to Krishna. That you have told me that I will not give you darshan, but you gave me a hint by which I can see your darshan. You may not be able to show your darshan, but I can see your darshan. So Maharaj said, this verse indicates the fundamental principle of our Krishna consciousness movement that Prabhupada brought. That is what is that fundamental principle in which our ISKCON movement is, our Hare Krishna movement is existing or progress or running?
Books, words.
Further down, books is one of the aspects of that.
For regulatory principle?
No, for regulatory principles is at the other end. I mean, that also is important, but this fundamental.
Chanting of the holy.
Yes, holy name. Holy name is the foundational principle on which our entire movement survives. If that is not there, then books are actually are one manifestation of that sound vibration only, isn't it?
Mhm.
Words, book is made of words. Words are nothing but sound vibration. Correct?
And also, Prabhuji, books are taking us to chanting.
Yeah.
Yes, books take us to chant. So chanting again is holy name. So the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a sound vibration, or any names of Krishna is nothing but sound vibration. And that is where he is saying, Bhutam Nabholingam, Alingam. Krishna cannot be seen. Okay. Krishna cannot be seen, but he can be heard. 1625. So he can be seen through hearing. This is where actually this line Maharaj always highlighted, second line, that is Bhutam, Nabholingam, Alingam and Ishvaram. Bhutam means wonderful. Sorry, Mahat means great, Bhutam means wonderful. Right? Nabholingam, Alingam, Ishvaram. Right? These four words define Krishna's transcendental qualities here. What is that? Bhutam means, Mahat means great, Bhutam means wonderful. How wonderful he is. Nabholingam. That Nabholingam word Maharaj actually liked very much. In fact, to that extent, he said, if Prabhupada were alive now, I mean, he is now in front of us, he would say that International Society for Nabholingam Consciousness. He would have changed ISKCON to International Society for Nabholingam Consciousness. Because this word is the best word in the entire Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada has translated it also most beautifully. Nabaha Lingam. Nabha means sound vibration, right? And lingam means personification or rupam. The rupam is given, lingam means, right? So he is personified by sound but unseen by eyes. Alingam. So you will not be able to see him like any one of us with blood pressure and all like that. But Nabolingam, you can see him through the sound vibration, through the ears. And that is the answer to all our questions about how to see God, he said. Maharaj said. Anybody who asks how to see God, this is the verse you should see. By sound only you can see God. You can experience God. Not just seeing. Seeing means experiencing. It should include the meaning of experience, right? So that experiencing will come when we take shelter of Krishna in the form of his holy names. That holy name will reveal Krishna in person to us. Holy name itself is Krishna, and again it will reveal him further. So that Bhutam, Nabolingam, Alingam, and Ishwaram. Ishwaram means supreme authority, supreme controller. He is the supreme controller. That is why he decided when to show himself and when to hide himself and in what way to give the understanding and all that. Right? And after understanding this whole thing, 4 verses which Lord Krishna spoke and left, this is what he is telling, that I have been favored by you, Krishna, Anukampitaha. You have favored me in unimaginable, inconceivable way. I never imagined you would give me so much mercy. Right? Now, see the beauty here. If Krishna said that you could see me only in the deity form, right? There are so many restrictions. You cannot go and take the deity whenever you want. He has to rest. You have to feed him. You have to do arati. When he is not willing to show, you cannot see him. So many restrictions are there. Correct? But sound vibration, there is no restriction. Anytime, anywhere, you can take the holy names. And in sound vibration, he did not say, through sound, you go here, you perfect yourself, then you will see. No. He said, through sound itself is me. So just by chanting the holy name, you are with me. You are taking my darshan, you are taking my association. If you remember during Narsinghada Katha, 2 days the thing we did, we were talking about that one purport in the 7th canto where Mad Darshanam Bhutanam Sarvashreya Papattaye. So that Krishna is telling the Kshira Sagra, he is telling them, the Devatas, through his sound only, that by hearing me only is you have taken my darshan. It is not different from taking my darshan. So that is the importance of sound vibration. So you don't have to, say that only if I go and see him in the person waiting for many hours, that is also darshan only. But even those who may not be able to go and do that austerity, sitting at home and chanting the holy names of Krishna, they will get the same benefit, and they will get the same benefit of Krishna's personal darshan. Yes, Swapna Mataji.
Harikul Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was thinking all this is happening in Satya Yoga, and uh, uh, your it is all happening in Satya Yoga, then Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. Oh, but in Satya Yoga only they are giving guidance for Kali Yuga.
Yeah, no, what's the problem? Yeah, all through. No, then Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga only Nrsimha Bhagwan thing and all happened. There, whatever instruction that Prahlad Maharaj gives and all, we are still following. No? There is no thing like in this Yuga only you do this, in this Yuga only you do that. No. Even in Satya Yuga, holy names are recommended. But predominantly during that time, everybody was so pure at heart. Their method of worshipping Krishna was different.
Okay.
right? Just during doing by dhyan and all, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Got it.
So there were people who were doing chanting also, but then that was a predominant. Now also you see many people doing many other yoga, this and all, but the recommended process is chanting in Kali Yuga because that is the easiest, but at the same time the most potent also. Yeah. Okay. Now you see why Narad Muni is expressing his gratitude. Now you saw that why he is expressing his gratitude. Because he has given such a easy way to approach him. Anytime he wants, he will come. He just chant Hare Krishna, holy name, that's it. Krishna will be there. He will present himself in the form of the holy names. In the time, he will come and dance. Isn't it? And that's why at a later point, I will tell you, this if you see, Krishna said, you will not be able to see me. I will not give me darshan to you. And then Narada Muni found out this way of, oh, you are in your holy name only. Then no problem. I will chant your holy name and see you. Then what happens? I will tell you verse number, uh, just for a moment, go to verse number 33. 1633. Here, it's like an insult for Krishna. Narada Muni is actually putting Krishna to shame. You see, this verse, Pragayatah Swaviryani Tirthapadah Priyashravah Ahuta Ivame Shigram Darshanam Yati Chetasi. You read the translation? Someone can read the translation?
The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appears on the seat of my heart, as if called for, as soon as I begin to chant his holy activities.
As if called for. This is the Prabhupada's way of teasing Krishna. See, you said you will not give a darshan to him, but he found out a shortcut in which even now, as if called for is a funny thing, Ahuta Iva. He did actually call. He just chanted the holy name. We don't call Krishna, no? When we are chanting the holy name, are we calling Krishna? We are just chanting the holy name. We can call, but by default, I'm saying what we are doing. You just chant and okay, 16 rounds are over, finished. But actually speaking, every calling out his name is a calling Krishna. So it's like, say, suppose I keep on telling something and referring one of your names. Immediately you will say, oh, he called my name, isn't it? But I would have referred your name in the group and I will be just speaking something else, right? So like that, Narada Muni is telling, I was not calling him. I just chanted the holy name. But as soon as I chant, Ragayata Saviryani, then the moment I started to chant his name, Tirthapada Priyashravaha, Ahuta Ivame, Idram, very soon, Darshanam Yati Chetasi. To give his darshan, he is running to come to Narad Muni. I want to give you darshan. I didn't call you. As if called for. That's what it means. I didn't call you. No, but you called my name. I have to give you darshan. Oh, that is the way. Calling the name is the way to see Krishna. Now we got the secret, right? You call out the name, you chant the name loudly, you chant very lovingly and feelingly. Then even you don't ask, Krishna will come and stand and say, take my darshan as much as you want. Bhishma Deva was calling out his name. He said, you are the reason, Krishna, for putting me in this situation. You are making me fight with my grandson and grandson to the grandfather. No, I will not let this go. I will finish off this whole thing like that. He was going. Then that made Krishna to go and give darshan, so close darshan to Bhishma Deva on the 10th day. Until 9 days, he was sitting in the chariot. But he said, I cannot do anything more than this to the bhakti that you are doing. So I have to rush and give you much, much more closer darshan. He takes the chariot wheel and runs to Vishnu. So that's when actually he stops the fight. Yes, Gaurav Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji,
Long
as
time
is
we
the
were missing you.
yes, Prabhu. Some other services are there, Prabhu. So, Prabhuji, as is the case with me, Prabhu, I mean, the chanting, when we are doing this chanting, sometimes we are able to remember, I mean, we are able to chant in prayerful mood and we are able to chant, I mean, to the best of our ability, I can say. But most of the time it is like mechanical chanting. So then does this also is true? I mean, whatever is mentioned in the shloka, Krishna comes as if called for.
Gaurav Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhuji.
sorry, most of the time it is mechanical chanting. After that, I got disconnected. Yes, Prabhu.
So most of the time it is mechanical chanting. So in such
Hmm.
scenario, does this shloka holds true? I mean, the Lord comes as if called for, or it is, I mean,
He
at
will
that
come up to the
particular
doorstep
stage.
and he will say, he will come up to the doorstep and
Prabhu, can't hear you, Prabhuji.
you can't hear me.
Prabhuji, your voice
No,
is
Prabhu.
cracking. Prabhuji, your voice is cracking.
Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now is it better?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, it is better,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So the point I was saying is that he may come up to the doorstep and he'll go away. This is mechanical chanting. No need to come in front of him.
Doorstep
So
of
the
the heart.
verse, Prabhu, this verse is to make us understand this point that every time you call out his name, Krishna is coming to give us darshan.
Okay.
And then we will chant more feelingly, na? That is why Bhagavatam is very, very important. The understanding the Bhagavatam properly and in the right sense will give us the what do you call it? Opportunity to love the holy name even more. Does it help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Got it.
So the point is, his glories and activities are pleasing to hear. But that's why he at once appears on the seat of my heart as if called for, as soon as I began to chant his holy activities. Which includes holy names also,
Yes, Prabhuji.
right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's why if you go down in the purport, Prabhupada says nicely, na?
The
Absolute
first line
personality of
itself, true.
Godhead.
The absolute personality of Godhead is not different from its transcendental name, form, pastimes, and the sound vibration thereof.
As soon as a pure devotee engages himself in the pure devotional service of hearing, chanting, and remembering the name, fame, and activities of the Lord, at once he becomes visible to the transcendental eyes of the pure devotee by reflecting himself on the mirror of the heart by spiritual television. Right? Such a beautiful thing here, spiritual television. The mirror of the heart, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Those things like inattentiveness, mechanical chanting, that is what the final thing, it also happens to be inattentive while chanting. Those are the offenses that we do. See, we don't keep blaspheming Vedic literature, Brahma, Vishnu and all the time. Correct? We don't do that all the time. But we do this inattentive chanting quite regularly. That offense we keep doing. So when we do the offense, no, then these things will not come. So when we realize that, then we'll say, okay, at least let me when I chant Krishna, let my mind be attentive to that word Krishna, that sound Krishna. Right? When I chant Hare, let my mind be conscious or listen to that, let my ear hear that, or let my ear hear that sound vibration, Krishna. You get me?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Rama. That is good enough to start off. Right?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
when I realize that, oh, when I say Krishna, Krishna is coming and standing in front of me, then slowly the form of Krishna will keep manifesting in. I say sometimes you can chant some prayers in between, or say like we do that Namamrita thing before starting the holy names in the temples and all. That
Yes.
gives us a little. So that particular thing will keep running in our mind. So today we read about say Draupadi calling out Krishna's names in the Sabha with so much feeling and feeling of helplessness. We should also chant like that. So every day this kind of a thing will have to be forced. We are not constitutionally loving Krishna, no. We are not naturally loving Krishna yet. We are being forced to love Krishna. See, we are forced to do some seva. We are forced to come to the program. We are forced to take Bhagavatam in our lap and read. Huh? So for everything, there is a push required for us. And that push can work only in material world. In the spiritual world, they don't have any push. There is no my bhakti going this way, like that, or like a sine wave. No, bhakti doesn't go that way. Bhakti goes this way only in the spiritual world. So until our thing becomes naturally pushed, like natural push is there for Prabhupada, it was very difficult for him to stop working for Krishna. Right? So, inspired by Prabhupada, many souls have also been following that same thing. They are there with all their ill health and everything. They were pushing themselves so much. So from them we realized that that is a stage we have to reach there, right? So what we see here is that a motivated devotional service can go only to so much. It can only go to so much distance. An unmotivated devotional service only can go even without anyone else's push. Right? Push means it should come from externally. It may come from Maya. It may come from some of the devotees, some of the senior Vaishnavas, or anyway, or maybe some in the world when just we are going around, we'll get some kids. So that it may push in different ways. But we cannot be dependent on the push for every time to move forward. Right? So it is important to develop that natural attraction to the devotional service, the holy names and all, so that eventually our vehicle will run in cruise control mode. You don't have to step on the gas every time. It slows down and all that.
And that's why, I mean, Prabhuji, most of the devotees who are sincere, I mean, they have a routine that they follow, right? So
yeah, that is very good point you made. Because if you are very regularly you are chanting at the same time every day in the morning, say some specific time, then you will be fixed in that. You will do everything else to make sure that time is yours for chanting or reading, etc. So that regulation helps in our sadhana. Regulations actually is very, very helpful in the sadhana.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you for that discussion point. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji,
Yes,
I just, Prabhuji, even actually here we are seeing that when we call out Krishna's name, he is coming. But even we see Gajendra's prayers, he actually doesn't even call, only he is talking about the qualities of the Lord and he immediately appears, Prabhu.
Yes. Actually, not just qualities of the Lord, he does call Krishna as Adi Bija. There are names that are made that are primary names, secondary names, all those things are there. There are names that are made of his qualities. There are names that just describe him as beauty, right? Say, for example, Pundari Kaksha. That's a very beautiful name describing the Lord's beauty of the Lord's eyes, right? Or Pankaja Nabha talks about how beautiful is his Navi, the lotus Navi, right? So some of them are description of his beauty. some of them are description of his qualities. So there is no difference between them. So in any name you call, he called him as say that Sakshi, Jagat Sakshi. Those are all one of his activities. He is the Sakshi. He is the universal Sakshi, right? So there is nothing wrong. He called out to the level in which he was having this bhakti, and the sense to the in the mood in which he was having, not level, but the mood in which he was having his bhakti. And Parikshit Maharaj called out in his own way, where say Prahlad Maharaj calls out in his own way. So any names of Krishna is as potent, dependent on the intensity of our prayer. Okay. What else? Anyone else? Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, I think we are okay, right? So let's go back to 1625. Now, this personified by sound and unseen by eyes. This word Maharaj very much highlighted. So he is made of sound. He is personified by sound. So this verse Maharaj also said it highlights the importance of the sound vibration in our life. The sound that which we bring in our life determines our life. The sound for which we are giving permission to enter into our ears, no, that actually drives our life and determines our future further. You get all the bad vibrations. You read the newspaper, you hear some channel, some news channel, or some different, say, Kaliuga thing and all that. Then we will be directing towards that one. We will keep hearing something about stock market, stock market, stock market. Our mind will be stock market conscious. You give something about, say, movies, then this, that, etc. Then your mind will be directed towards that. So that's why it is personified by all the sound has its origin from Krishna only. Om, from everything is Om iti ekaksharam Brahma, right? Pranava sarva Krishna says. But while coming into this world, everything, the things get contaminated by the modes, because subject matter is all made of the three modes. Most of it is tamasic, right? So that sound vibration which we are letting or allowing to enter into our life, that sound vibration that directs our life or controls our life. That's how we'll be made of. That's what we'll be attracted towards. 10 messages you see about one particular subject, then naturally when the 11th message comes, or nowadays these are all coming in the form of shorts, reels, and all these things. So we are naturally getting attracted to it. And so what happens? You keep going into this, and 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, like that, it just runs away, ruins our life. And that is an important aspect which we should also keep in mind. Okay. Now, this supreme authority personified by sound, unseen by eyes, but most wonderful. Actually, Narada Muni is calling Krishna as most wonderful. Bhutam. Bhutam is actually most wonderful. So the Lord is most wonderful because he is the only one who can present himself in the form of the sound vibration. We cannot do that. I cannot say that I and my sound vibration are the same. Please serve the sound vibration. Now tomorrow, if say my wife, she will write my name in one paper, and feed the prasadam to that name, that paper containing my name, and tell me that I have fed your name. So I think you got it. You are satisfied. Your hunger is satisfied now. And I will become more angry. Feeding my name is not the same as feeding me, right? But in Krishna's case, it's not like that, because he's completely Satchidananda. So for him, his name, his form, his paraphernalias, or his pastimes. So by hearing the holy name, that's why he's telling Naham Tishtami Vaikunte. I'm not staying in Vaikuntha. Yogi now Hridaya Nacha. Not in the yogi's Hridaya also. तस्य तिष्ठामि नारद यस्य यत्र गायन्ति मद्भक्ताः तत्र तिष्ठामि नारद. He says to Narada Muni. Wherever people are singing my glories, my pastimes, they are discussing my pastimes, I stay there. So the pastimes means in the form of that pastime, he is present there. That is why hearing Krishna's pastime is satisfying us so naturally. It's making us more joyful, energetic, and so on. Okay. So then this is why he feels a sense of gratitude. So wonderful the Lord is. No one else can do this. But in the form of the sound, he is making us experience him directly. How easy it is. You cannot call personally Krishna from Dwarka and Vrindavan to come and stay with you. But you can easily call his names and immediately you are there with Krishna. That is why, feeling a sense of gratitude, I offer my obeisances unto him, bowing my head up. Krishna Havanamam Vidadhe Anukampitaha. I offered my obeisances unto him, bowing my head. This is how I am expressing my gratitude to him. To a person who said, I will not give you my darshan anymore, Narada Muni is feeling very grateful. Right? That's the beauty here. Okay, now let's read the purport, because we haven't touched the purport. So this so far what we have done is only up to the translation. If you read that purport, Maharaj used to say in every line there are keywords. The line itself is each line is as good as Krishna himself. There is no difference. So first line, when you see that the personality of Godhead was not seen but only heard. Here now, first Krishna gave darshan, then he stopped giving darshan. In the 4 verses he is only speaking, and after speaking, what's happening? He is stopping speaking also. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. Was not seen but only heard. That 4 verses which he spoke does not make any difference. What is that difference? That, oh, he didn't come in person, but he only spoke. No, the Lord spoke. That is as good as the Lord being present there. So there's no difference. You see that? I mean, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So the personality was not seen but only heard does not make any difference. It's a very key thing. Suppose I go to the office, I take my ID card, and I tell my team member that keep my ID card in my desk, and anybody comes, you tell them that my ID card is there, I am there. It will not work. The I and my ID card are different, right? But in Krishna's case, him and his sound, which is the ID card, are not different. His sound is as equally present in the what do you call in us, in among us, basically, right? So that's the beauty. It does not make any difference. And Prabhupada is explaining it further. Why it is not different? The personality of Godhead produced the 4 Vedas by his breathing. By breathing only the Lord produced the Vedas. 4 Vedas came out of his breathing. And then it goes further and says, is seen and realized through the transcendental sound of the Vedas. So the transcendental sound of the Vedas is making us capable enough to see and realize them. That is why when people chant, when you are chanting and when you are chanting the Vedic vibrations, you feel very energized. There are devotees who will be fasting and chanting so loud, but that is so grave and very powerful, that sound vibration. Especially the morning chanting and the Vedic mantra chanting, Purusha Sukta and all those things when you chant, they're really it will really create a shaking. Your body will shake, shiver in ecstasy. You will not understand one word of it, but it will create that experience. What is it? Why is that experience? Because there is no difference. And he's seen and realized through that transcendental sound. Yes, Gaurav Prabhu?
Prabhu, just wanted to share what I was understanding from this look at this. This fits into Srila Prabhupada as well. I mean, that supreme authority within ISKCON, personified by sound and unseen by eyes. I mean, by the sound of his books, and he is the most wonderful. So then, feeling the sense of gratitude, we offer our obeisances to him. And Srila Prabhupada is not seen only by, but heard also doesn't not make any difference. I mean, simply reading from his
Hare
book.
Krishna Prabhu.
Haribol.
Gaurav Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry, my earphone has started malfunctioning again. Can you repeat it? What your question is, your experience?
So, Prabhu, what I was saying is this 1625, this translation fits into Srila Prabhupada himself very well. So my understanding was like that supreme personal authority within ISKCON, he is personified by sound of his books, unseen by eyes, but he is most wonderful. And then feeling a sense of gratitude, we offer our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. So that, I mean, the first line, if we understand that he is not seen but only heard through his books, it does not make any difference. I mean, having the direct audience of Srila Prabhupada. So that's what I was thinking.
Because Prabhupada's thing is books are not different from Vedas, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Beautiful, Prabhu. Nice. Thank you so much for that realization. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Able to hear Prabhu?
Sorry?
Able to hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji, able to hear me? Prabhuji, I was just wondering that actually here it's coming that the Vedas are coming from the breathing of the Lord. Then why does Narada Muni say that in Vedas only you are bringing out the Purusharth, but you are not glorifying the Lord? That is why you have to actually write scripture only based on the glorification of the Lord. How do we understand this?
You're referring to Vedavyasa. Okay, to Vedavyas. Am I audible, Mataji? Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu, you could hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah. No, you are able to hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, Prabhuji.
Okay. No, you are talking about Vyasadev, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
No, Vyasadev did not. Vyasadev did not glorify. Correct. Vyasadev actually wrote Purusha Sukta Mandal is actually about glorification of Krishna only. What he didn't do was he was not explaining about bhakti and the pastimes of Krishna. Transcendental pastimes of Krishna, he did not write it as a separate, bhakti, glorifying bhakti, he did not write a separate exclusive book to keep bhakti as a topmost. That is why he was scolding. Vedas is not just for Purushartha alone. Mahabharata is that Purushartha. Vedas contain everything in the form of the sutras and everything. Upanishad, sutras, and so many other ways. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's clear.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
So, Vyasadeva, it was a pastime to bring Bhagavatam to this world, right? So, if you see, he in Mahabharata, he wrote in such a way that Krishna's glories was not like the topmost, and Bhakti is not the topmost in that thing in Mahabharata. You see, Mataji? So what happens is he talks about all these different pastimes, and then in Mahabharata, say the various pastimes in the Vanavas and this and that will all be there. Krishna will be like any one of them. Like he will go and try to help these Pandavas in the forest, or when the kingdom was divided, he will go and help them. If he wanted, he could have taken away that whole thing and given to Krishna, given to Pandavas and all. You understand? So the bhakti which the Pandavas exhibited, Kunti exhibited, Bhishma Dev exhibited, that was not brought out very prominently in Mahabharata. And that is why he was disturbed. In the Vedas, everything is explained in a very sutra form, very what you call coded form. That's why the Vedanta Sutra, we have those Janma Jasyataha, then Tato Brahma Jignasa, then Anavriti Sabda, like that. These small sutras are there, which will be taking volumes and volumes of explanations to give. So to make it simple, Vyasadeva was trying to put the whole thing in the form of stories in Mahabharata, which has actually happened. What has actually happened? History. But while doing that, he was giving focus mainly on the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So because he was doing like that, he could not bring out the bhakti facet, bhakti presentation of the various events. See, one Mataji, we can, Prabhu's Mataji, we can take example. One particular event is happening. It is involving, say, a few people in there. Now, it may be presented from one person's point of view. Now, say there is an India-Pakistan war that happened because of the Pahalgam thing attack and of terrorist attack and all that. Now, there are very many different angles of visions to it. So one view we can give was this Operation Sindoor, and it was emotionally this thing. Then another view, this guy, one person is shouting out in US every day and everybody is shouting, because of me it happened, because of me it happened. So different people have their own way of understanding this one event, right? So this Mahabharata is one way of presenting the mood of the different people, the various personalities involved there, Draupadi, Pandavas, Bhishma Dev, Vidura, then Sanjaya, and all, and then that's Kauravas and all of them. But only when you give it in a bhakti presentation, you will understand what Krishna did, why devotees were accepting whatever Krishna gave them. If Krishna wanted, he could have taken out, killed all these people one shot and given liberation to them or whatever, and given the Rajya back to Yudhishthira Maharaj. No. Why did Krishna allow these things to go through so much? And why did the devotees not even say one word, complaining even once? So this is where we have to understand the whole thing in the right sense. That when we also do like that, when we approach Krishna consciousness in a very mundane way, then we will also be disturbed. That's the point. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Matan.
what is the meaning of what the last sentence in the way we approach Krishna consciousness in a very mundane way? Can you explain in a bit in detail? Last sentence you said.
When we have a motivation, no, like see, dharma, artha, kama, moksha itself means motivation. So if I want some material motivation behind my bhakti, that is mundane way. Like everything is centered around how much I can get. If I'm not getting anything, I'm not going to do it. What's in it for me? What's the benefit I will get? That is mundane. So that's why even with chanting with the expectation to have some ecstasy is mundane. You get me? Many times we say, Maharaj, we are not getting ecstasy in chanting. And your chanting should make Krishna ecstatic, not you ecstatic. If it makes Krishna ecstatic, automatically you will become ecstatic. Right? So that is mundane. Suppose I am giving a class and then I want everybody to be appreciating my say that is mundane. Activity is spiritual, but my approach is material. Krishna will not look at my activity alone. My intent behind doing that activity, my approach in serving in that service, both he will be looking at. Somewhere I read very nice. Was it Gaurang Prabhu or someone said this that people hear our words, but Krishna hears our intent. He knew before even I could tell, right? Krishna knows before even we could tell what is our intent behind. I may say, Krishna, I want to serve you all through my rest of my life. Yeah. What is the intent? What is the intensity? Both he knows. And if I'm not getting roti for the morning breakfast, I will not sit there and do service. What kind of intensity is that? Okay, so one line only we read. Let's try to go little further. Next line. The personality produces 4 Vedas by his breathing, right? Maharaj used to say, Krishna can produce Vedas from his breathing, but from my breathing, nothing comes out. I can't produce anything like that. Seen and realized to the transcendental sound of it. Seen and realized, both. Then Prabhupada comes further. This is what Maharaj liked very much. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is the sound representation of the Lord. And there is no difference in identity. And Maharaj kept on repeating this thing. There's no difference in identity. Identity is very simple. I have my photo. That is also me showing me only. But I cannot say that I will send my photo through my driver. Please give the money to him. No. You will say, no, you personally come and collect it from me. I cannot send it to a photo and all. Why? Because that photo is a dead element. It doesn't hear, speak, and there is no. If I come personally, then I will say, okay, you are there. Now let's acknowledge that. We can do that. So similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is a sound representation of the Lord. It represents in the form of sound. So that is why Nabho Lingam, personified by sound. Bhagavad Gita is also personified by sound. Krishna personified by sound is Bhagavad Gita. And there is no difference in identity. So when you are reading Bhagavad Gita, when you're studying and you're reciting Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is present in that sound vibration. Krishna is that sound vibration. Every word that is inside that book of Bhagavad Gita is actually Krishna present there. And finally, Prabhupada writes here, the conclusion is that the Lord can be seen and heard by persistent chanting of the transcendental sound. Maharaj said this is very important. Persistent chanting is the key word phrase here. We should chant with persistence. We should persist. We should persist with the mind. Mind will shout, scream, cry, whatever it may do, but persist with your chanting. You do whatever you want. Like to a child, how we persist with. The child would cry and say, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school, like that. But you will persist with your side also. You say, no, you have to go. So like that, we have to persist with that crazy mind. That chanting is the important thing. You should do it. You cannot forget about. You cannot leave it, like that. It is persistent chanting of the transcendental sound. Yeah. Any question? This persistence is the key to devotional service. Not only chanting, but for every activity we should persist, because it's with persistence only we can succeed. If I don't persist, if I'm not strict about persisting, I will easily lose the steam. They'll say, what's the point? Let's just take a break. It's not working anymore. Yes, Swapnama.
Prabhuji, what I think here is that the persistent chanting word here is multifaceted.
Yes.
What I think is that in service, I may not be able to chant words, but I can remember, as we discussed earlier, that doing it for Krishna is service is Krishna himself, and that will also come into chanting. I feel so.
Yes. When you remember, when you discuss some Krishna Katha, Mataji, say, suppose you are doing some stitching or say garland seva in the temple with two, three other devotees. You may not sing, but you may be discussing about some pastime of Krishna. No? And that discussion is actually Krishna Katha. That discussion is transcendental sound. See, in Vrindavan, this is that verse, let me see which number it is. Uh, 10:46:46.
Which number, Prabhuji?
10.46.46. This talks about how the Rajvasis, the gopis, used to do Sankirtan of Krishna. Udgayatina Aravintalochanam Prajanganana Divamaspushadhvanihi Tadnascha Nirmanthana Shabdamishrito Nirasyate Yena Disha Mangalam. See, they're actually the Brajavasi gopis. Huh? This is after Krishna leaves to Mathura. Even before also they will do, but after Krishna leaves Vrindavan, the intensity is even more. So, Udgayatinam Aravindalas, they were loudly singing. They were loudly singing about him, about the glorious pastime that Krishna used to do as a childhood boy in his childhood days in Vrindavan. So what they will do, loudly they will be singing, like, I mean, speaking and singing, basically. Aravinda Lochanam, Krishna, who is Aravinda Lochana. Brajangananam, basically the Brajavasi group is Divam Asprishad Dwanihi. Their Dwani will touch the sky, it seems. It touches the sky to that extent. Not that they are singing that with loud throat, but the purity of that chanting matters. Even if they murmur, the purity of the chanting can take it all the way to the sky, right? So to the extent it is pure, to that extent it will stay in the atmosphere as long as it can. So Dadnascha Nirmantana, they will be doing the curdle, they will be doing the churning from milk to curd. So dadnascha nirmanthana shabda mishrito. So when they are speaking, this sound will come now when the rod is being churned in the pots. So that sound is like the mridanga sound for the Sankirtan, right? And they are doing that like this. And then there will be, when it is rolling, then the bell will be ringing, right? That is like the kartal sound, right? What it did, dadnascham nirmantana shabda mishrito means mixed. Nirasyate yena tishama mangalam. Nirasyate means it dispels all the inauspiciousness and all the amangal in all the directions be dispersed by that sound, by the sound vibration and the mixture of their Sankirtan. So this is their Sankirtan. So as the ladies of Braja loudly sang the glories of lotus-eyed Krishna, their songs blended with the sound of their churning ascended to the sky and dissipated all auspiciousness in every direction. So this verse is a indication of how powerful Sankirtan, what powerful Sankirtan can do. Powerful in terms of purity.
Prabhuji, even similar thing is there in verse 10.9.2 about Yashoda Maya. She is singing his pastimes in the poem form.
This is no 10.9.2.
Yeah.
No such.
Yani
1 and 2.
Yani yani hakitani tatbala
The second
charitani
verse. Okay, it's a dual verse.
Dadi nirmantane kale smaranti tanya agataya.
While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna. In her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all the activities. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, this tells about it, but the other one talks about the effect of it, what it will do. With all the nirasyate yena dishama mangalam. Okay, so any questions, comments? Many such references we can give.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, when I read the translation purport, at that time I thought that the seen and heard word is very important. And then I remembered in chapter 15, when Arjuna and Yudhishthir Maharaj is speaking, and at that time Arjuna is remembering Krishna, all pastimes, that what all, how all he helped. So that is very important, that he is able to see and heard means he's also remembering.
When you are remembering, it is actually the intensity of that remembering leads to seeing. It is as if in front of you.
And also he is hearing his own words also. So heard and seeing is going together. And later I thought that in Srimad Bhagavatam everywhere it leads to hearing and seeing only Krishna. True. It is training our eyes to see and training our ears to hear Krishna. And what happens with chanting? The purification happens, and with Srimad Bhagavatam, purification also happens. Inauspiciousness also goes, and we are able to see Krishna in our situation. That over here Krishna helped, so we are seeing Krishna there. If we go in front of devotees and devotee corrects us, then we come to know that Krishna is telling, though we are hearing also Krishna. So when chanting and Srimad Bhagavatam goes together, it gives immediate and immense effects for the growth of spiritual practice, and we are able to see and hear together.
Correct.
This is my
very
understanding.
Nice, beautiful, Mataji. Nice understanding. Beautiful. This is what Krishna does. Intelligence invested in me cannot be thwarted by any powerful anything in this given world. Yes, any other points from anyone? So this verse we saw how actually it shapes our life, This particular verse 1625, it is very important. Persistent chanting, there is no difference in identity, it does not make any difference. All these are very beautiful key words which should actually govern our life. Prabhupada's words are not normal words. They have to take control of our lives. We should let these purports take control of our lives. Anytime we should just go back to this purport. This is such nice understanding. Bhagavad Gita in my hand, how many times I have seen there is no difference in identity. I'm so just lying there and not even caring that I should open it and read. I remember Maharaj used to, morning when he wakes up, even at 90 years, he would wake up in the morning around 3:30 or 3:30. He will wake up and he will go to wash his clothes, take bath, and then dress himself. Throughout this time, he knows all through the entire 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita by heart, because from his childhood he has been reciting them daily. So daily he will recite these chapters during his, while washing. We could hear the verses from inside the bathroom. While taking snan, you will hear the water flowing, but at the same time, you'll also hear the second, third chapter like that. It will keep coming, 18th, 16th chapter, 17th. Or if you have some chapters left, then after the morning program, as he is cooking, he will continue chanting the remaining chapters. That's how and even when he go in the car, he never goes without carrying his Bhagavad Gita, the small pocket-sized Bhagavad Gita. Those days that was printed in the western side, that like the small Bible thing will be there, pocket-sized Bhagavad Gita. So he will, as soon as we enter in, he will ask, if you are the driver, he will ask, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Then I will be wondering what is referring to Krishna, some deity that he has Gopal deity or something you have to carry. So you refer to Bhagavad Gita. Bring Bhagavad Gita. It should be in front of my eyes. And he sits in the passenger seat and we sit in the driver's seat. It should be on that panel. So Bhagavad Gita and 2-3 of his diaries should always be there. And whenever we are stopping in the traffic or when we are stopping for something else, for shopping or something, he will be sitting inside and he will be silently, he will be just reading the diaries of Bhagavad Gita. That's how he will refer to us, Bhagavad Gita as Krishna only. These are all things which we learned. So I'm just sharing them with you. This verse we will discuss and move on. But the impact this particular verse had on us, many of the devotees, is indescribable. Made this verse rule our life, actually, this verse and the purport and the translation. And even in Pune, one or two classes we did with making the devotees to learn this verse by heart. And devotees were so thrilled when they learned some 1 or 2 lines of Prabhupada's purport, They were really, really happy. I could see their face really bright and beaming with smiles. I have the capability to by heart Prabhupada's transcendental lines. And that also they didn't learn just simply mechanically. They learned by relishing each and every word. So you cannot take one word out from here and put something else. You cannot take this word persistent chanting, persistent out and put some word here and it will have the same effect. No, never. The effect is so perfect that only if it is having the word persistent chanting, it makes sense. Only if it does not make any difference there, it fits in perfectly. So please, next time when we come, I am sorry to tell you this. I'm not going to leave anybody from reciting this by heart, the translation and purport and verse by heart. So we'll do some little exercise before we start the next verse, which is also another very, very powerful diamond verse. There it is, So I will tell you some more speciality about verse number 26 also next week, Krishna willing, when we connect. But for now, we'll end today. with this thing, that this verse is really very important, and we will meet again next week. Krishna Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Sri Gopaman ki jai, Hari Bhagwan
Jai.
Chakravartin Vishnu.
Hari
Upasana
Bol.
Devacha
Vancha
Patitanam Pavana
Kripasanti
Krishna Namaha.
Patitanam
Ki
Pavane
jai.
Vaishnavya Namo. Jai.
So, previous Prabhu is asking the question. Prabhu, sound itself is impersonal, but Srila Prabhupada writes in translation personified by sound. Now, we will discuss this next week. Thank you, Piyush Prabhu, for your question. We'll discuss this next week. Please remind me as soon as we start. I might slip. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. See you all soon.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
so much.
Dandavat.
Thank you so much. Hare
Dandavat.